What's up, everyone? I hope everyone is doing good. Happy Friday now. So in this episode, I'm basically going to talk about the 2020 election and just how I think it's going to go and all. My name is Sean Clinton, and this is God and Freedom Show Daily Edition. Alrighty, so I apologize for not having an episode out last night because I just had a prior engagement. So, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. So, the 2020 election has been an very interesting election. It's honestly the first really election I've actually paid attention to fully. I mean, the 2016 election I did kind of pay attention to, but not like fully. I mean, I just kind of looked who I supported at, like, mostly like the guy who I supported during the primary election, who was Ben Carson, the guy who I supported in the primary election in 2016. But this is the first like actual presidential election where I actually put my full attention to, and it's been very interesting just how like between all the candidates and just how bad my predictions have been during this whole thing. So at the beginning, I figured that probably Bernie Sanders was going to be the nominee. I was completely wrong about that, even though he was pretty close to becoming it. But then the Super Tuesday, Joe Biden came and swept. And honestly, I never thought Joe Biden would actually be the nominee. I always thought that he had the best like chance, like to beat Trump, but I just never thought I never thought the Democrats would actually elect him to become the nominee. But it happened. It did happen. So, yeah, I mean, just, I don't know. This entire election has been just absolutely chaotic all the way through. Especially now, I just can't pinpoint what exactly is going to go on. If I had to pinpoint right now, today, I still think Trump will win re-election. I really hope so. I mean, I am going to be voting for Trump in November. But anything can happen, honestly. Yes, his approval ratings are not like the best right now, but I mean, it's honestly like the whole coronavirus thing just really kind of messed with the whole prediction system. So it's hard to actually gauge what exactly is going to go on and how exactly the general election is going to go, period. Because I mean, we don't know if there's actually going to be a debate or not. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I don't know. Just while I still think Joe Biden is a stronger candidate, and I just don't see him beating Trump at this point, especially because it's how awful he has been during this whole pandemic, and just how awful his campaign has been. Here's actually an example of just how awful he is and how he has been running his campaign. It's a short video clip from the show The Breakfast Club, not the movie. They're called a podcast little radio show thing. But here's a clip right here.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
So yeah, I mean, so according to him, if you don't vote for him, you're not black. So, which doesn't make sense. And trust me, if a Republican were to say that, the media would have been on that person like nothing else. But of course, since Joe Biden said it, pretty much all silent on social media, pretty much. I'm scrolling to Twitter right now, and nothing from the mainstream media, nothing. Just mainly from conservatives, which is no surprise at all. It's quite hilarious. But I mean, seriously, Joe Biden, it's like I don't know, he's not there. Also in that same, not the same, but another interview he did, he actually said this right here. Let me actually find the quote. he actually said that he's gonna assure skeptical voters that he's gonna beat Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden's gonna beat Joe Biden. That's something he actually said. So he is not there. Like I just don't see him beating Trump at all. And especially if a debate happens, like once Trump sinks his teeth into him and shakes him like a rag doll, he's done. Like seriously, he's gonna be done because in terms of mental capacity, Trump is more there than what Biden is. So I mean, but again, anything can happen. But we'll also see. Just I don't know. This whole primary election is it's just been no-so. Especially with this adding the pandemic too, just got even more no-so. Alrighty. So I think that's all I have for this episode. So I'll be back here on Tuesday with another episode of the Daily Edition of the God of Freedom Show. So I hope everyone has a great Memorial Day weekend and spend time with your family. Go go to the beach, go have a grill, go to the park or whatever. Just get out of the house. Don't be cooped up all weekend. Especially if you can go out. But I'll see y'all then. My name is Sean Clinton, and this is God of Freedom Show. If you enjoyed this episode of the God of Freedom Show, hit that like button and follow the page to get more content. You can also find me on your favorite podcast listening sites like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Thank you for listening or watching.